Hello everyone. So today I'm gonna work on how to show these collected helmets in the inventory. So let me collect these weapons, shields and the helmets like this, and then when I go into the inventory, you see if I press this helmet button, you see now the the camera focus a little bit more on the head, and you can see the two collected helmets. If I go back, character moves back, actually not moving back, the camera is moving back, so we see the full body. And we already had implemented this other camera transitions for other parts. I just want to show that those things are still there. So now we have three things: main weapons and left hand weapons and the helmets. So this is what we are going to work on today: how to make these collected helmets in the world appear in the inventory. Okay, before we get started, let me remind you that you can watch all other episodes of this series in this playlist. You can see from scratch how each of these things are implemented. I'll leave the link to the full playlist in the description, and also you can download the full project file of this project and all other thousands of projects that I am doing in my channel from the Patreon page. Once you become a member, not just this project, you can download all other projects as well. So I'll leave the link to the Patreon page also in the description. And yeah, let's get back to today's tutorial. Okay, so right now if I collect these weapons, and here let me collect the helmets as well. If I go to the inventory, I can see these weapons and I can see the shields. Oh, here also I can see the helmets as well, but for this this is the helmets, so this is not active yet, so I want helmet to show up, not here. Actually I need them to show up here. Alright, so and also I need to allow player to change whatever the helmet the character is wearing. Okay, so the first thing is here, if I go to game mode and player state, here I have the arrays that keep references to the classes of collected weapons, and here you can see right hand weapons and left hand weapons, but I don't have a place to hold helmets. So let me just duplicate this and helmet, let's just say helmet classes. And how do we add this? So basically the way it happens is when I collect weapons, it is added to the player state, and then in the inventory HUD I am using these get left hand weapon classes, get right hand weapon classes. At the moment I'm using these functions to get available weapons for the player, but still we don't have a way to get helmets, so we need to implement that too. Okay, so here we have weapon class, but this is only applicable for swords right now. That's why this left-handed, right-handed and two-handed for swords and shield. So we don't have a way to distinguish the helmet. So let's go to weapons and helmet. So for the helmet, I don't have a weapon type variable, only the weapon class. Alright, but if I go to the sword, here we have weapon type, and for the weapon type I have unarmed sword, shield, greatsword, helmet. Okay, so if this variable is available here, then I could use it to distinguish helmets as well. So what I'm thinking of doing is, this BP sword is a subclass of BP weapon base, and I think if this variable was defined in the weapon base, things would be better. So let me add this weapon type. Oh, it's E weapons, that's the variable type. Yeah, compile. Now in the interface I'll define get weapon type. Here I'll simply return weapon type, but I have already overridden this get weapon type function in other weapons actually, so we need to correct that. And now we no longer need the weapon type. Let's see what are the references here. Okay, so see, get weapon type. Let me delete that because I have already defined this, implemented this function in the parent class. Where is it? Oh, do we already have a... Oh, we do have a feature here, move to parent class. I didn't know about that actually. Okay, so then let's try that. Let me remove this. Okay, go here. Let's compile this as well. Let me rename it back to weapon type. Oh, okay, compile and move to parent class. Great, now here we have. Okay, now let's find references of this weapon type in everywhere. Okay, cool. Weapon base returns weapon type, and make sure that you have the correct weapon type assigned. Here sword, need to check for the great sword. It should be great sword. And for the helmet, should be helmet. Weapon base, yeah, this should be unarmed. And what about this? Sword, compile. Okay, now the child classes have correct class. Let's also check the shield. Should be shield. Alright, now before anything, let me test just to see everything is alright. Yep, here we have the swords, and here we have the shields. And oh, we didn't implement helmets yet. Okay, now that I have the weapon type in the weapon base here, now I can use it. Switch on E weapons. If it is a great sword or a shield or a sword, take this path. Otherwise, if it is helmet, get the helmet classes and add unique, and add this class. Okay. Alright, now we have a way to store the class references of the collected helmets. Now the next thing is we need a way to access these. So here I have this get left hand weapon classes, right hand weapon classes, and add collectible class. So these are implemented through this BPI player state. Here let's add a function, get weapon classes by type. The reason that I implemented it this way is later on I may be able to access boots, armors, gauntlets, anything using the type. So here as an input I'll give the weapons weapon type. Okay, and we need to return weapon classes 𝐒𝐻𝐸𝐭, that's the type. Collectible classes of the weapons, 𝐒𝐸𝐭, because that is the base class of all the weapon collectibles. That's why I'm using the 𝐒𝐸𝐭. Weapon collectible classes. Okay. Let's just say weapon classes. Oh no, it's fine. Okay, now play state, get weapon classes by type. Oh, this should be an array. Right, we don't need the shield or the sword or this. Select using the weapon type, and for helmets return helmet. And for this, well, actually I will not return anything for others other options because they are handled in a different way. Okay, now we have a way to store the class references and also a way to access the class references for the helmets. Now let's go to the HUD. Should be here, pp HUD, and just like this we need a function event switch to, just like this switch to left hand weapon inventory, and just like this switch to right hand weapon inventory. I need a way to switch to helmets. So what I can do is like this. So what I can do is, this is implemented through an interface which is BPI HUD. So let me duplicate this, switch to helmets inventory. Helmets inventory. Okay, now let's implement it. So just like for these, so I want to show the helmets in the left side because helmet is this icon. That's the one that would be assigned for the helmet, and that should appear in this side. So therefore I would have to do the same thing as in this switch to left hand weapon inventory. Okay, switch to helmets inventory, and I can duplicate the same code, except instead of this get left hand weapon classes, I can use get helmet classes. Okay, and also we need to focus to the head of the character and get left hand weapon classes. Now this get weapon classes by type, and type is helmet, and use it here. Okay, now we need to bind this event to the button that represents the helmet in the UI. That means here, this is the one that we would have button, the helmet button. So btn helmets. Okay, this is a variable. So if I go to the inventory, just like this, I can get a reference to btn helmets and find event to on-click dispatch. And here let's create an event. No. Add custom event on helmet pressed. Okay, now just like this, we can access HUD, and on the HUD we can call switch to helmets inventory. For now I don't really need I don't really have any use of this index. Okay, alright, this should basically work now, except, well, let's see. We collect some weapons and the helmets. Go here. Oh, see, now we have the helmets, and I can't switch them yet, but they appear here. Alright, that's fine. Also, another thing I noticed is here the camera is not changing. Now that is because here we have where is change focus? Here, change focus point. For the head, I don't really have a spring arm, so let's add one. SP main and SP right hand. So I think I can duplicate this P main, and I'll name it SP head, and it should be closer to the head. So maybe let's reduce this length to 350, and also to better focus on head, lift the offset a little bit up. Let's test that. Okay, right, now if I go here, nothing changed, huh? Right, because I didn't add the spring arm. Okay, now it should work. That's it. All right, now here you see, now get closer to the head. Still the switching is not working, that's fine, but the camera transitions and everything is working. Yeah, okay. So the reason that it is not yet applying when I click on the buttons is because the way I have designed those buttons is like this. Here first it unequip the current weapon on that class, but it is not applicable for the helmets because there is no unequipped kind of a thing for the helmets. And also we destroy the existing weapon of that class, so here that is also not applicable because actually I'm not keeping a reference to the current helmet, so we need to do that as well. And then finally we can activate it, we can collect it. So I think I will look into that in the next episode. So thanks for watching. As always, updated project files will be available for download in the Patreon page, link would be in the description below. And let me know what you guys think and any issues that you encounter here in the comments. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and see you in the next episode. Goodbye.